Without any further ado, let's get this party started, and let's have Azure 8 and Vipula come up here.
Thank you, everybody here, for giving me this time to present Azure 8. I am Vipula Taylor. I'm founder and CEO of Azure 8. Azure 8 is all women-owned company based out of Massachusetts, and we are proud to be that. Our focus really is to deliver integrated health solutions by combining products, technologies, and also services to prevent any chronic and acute diseases. Today, what I would like to do is really focus on how we are using Transdermal drug delivery technology platform that we have developed in-house to really help with optimizing efficacy and also to deliver health outcomes and also to really combat with the drug abuse that we are seeing today in the world. Especially here in the US as well. So as we're looking at our technology platform, the first focus we had was to develop patients who had pain medications, who need the pain medications on an everyday basis to really function, and how do we actually bring them pain medications without having the challenges of being dependent and getting addicted. So that was our main goal when we started the company, and as we were going through this, we also understood that the amount of drug that you actually have delivered through a patch is really going to help them to lower the drug loading. Therefore, it will actually allow them not to get dependent on these drugs. So just for a second, let's look at the opioid abuse right now that's happening in the US. And this is really something that everybody sees this every day on the news as well. There are about 100 million people in US today who actually suffer with chronic pain, and there were about 300 prescriptions written in 2015, and there have been quite a bit of casualties. As you can see, 47,000 people died of this overdosage. And one of the things that we have been able to do is these are just another stats to compare, how many people died in Vietnam War in 20 years versus what's happening in less than 13 years in drug abuse area. So one of the things we have been able to develop is a smart start technology, which really is a novel, patented, and proprietary technology that will actually mitigate all the risks. We actually are taking away completely access to the drug through this patch technology. So on the green blocks, you'll see those are the typical routes of abuse, and we've been able to actually mitigate all of those routes of abuse, and in fact, been able to develop a product that is very, very safe as well as is very efficacious. So really, there are 4 pillars to our technology. One is to actually optimize our efficacy, and we are doing this through our proprietary technology again, and we actually have done a lot of work with some of the patients, and we have seen more than 99% adherence and compliance to our drug in terms of patch technology. And we are also able to combine multiple transdermal drug delivery technologies along with multiple drugs. For example, in diabetes, we've been able to combine GLP-1s with metformin, which actually gives you a better outcomes for the patient health to control their glucose level. These are some of the other versatility that we have in technology, where you can actually do a Tmax of 15 minutes compared to 1 to 2 hours on a typical tablet. We've been able to do a control release as well as immediate release. So we have been able to really hone into, and we know this technology, how it works, and we can actually change this. And we actually have right now a diagnostic patch as well for diabetes. So we are really differentiated from all the other technologies that may be out there with Transdermal, and I think we have a steady state of drug loading, and then also once daily to once a weekly type of drug availability through this patch technology. So global transdermal market is about $81.4 billion, and this is just the transdermal patch market. And when you actually look at different indications, you will see what the market would look like in other applications. Here is our current pipeline. We have a diversified pipeline. We are able to make these products very successfully. We have been able to deliver the biologics as well through our technology platform. And we are looking to raise currently $3 million. We have completed a proof of concept. We had some initial discussions with FDA, and we have a 505(b)(2) approval path.
All right. So thank you, Vipula, for that. All right. So now we're going to have 5 minutes of questions. All right. And then we will be on to the next presenter.
Your go-to-market strategy.
Sure. So we are actually talking with a company that actually has drugs in hepatitis C, and we'll actually do the drug development in terms of patch delivery for that group of companies who are looking to license this as a technology. So that will be our first route of go-to-market. And we are actually in discussions with State of Massachusetts, with Charlie Baker's office for fentanyl patch to be able to actually build and manufacture. We actually have a full-fledged manufacturing facilities down in Atlanta that we are utilizing to make this patch. We have a DEA license there. That's why it's over there.
So a couple of questions. Are you developing new active ingredients that can be delivered transdermally, or are you taking existing active ingredients and then innovating around the delivery method?
So we're doing both. We are actually taking some active, already approved drugs so that we can actually put into the patch. And one of the things that we have been able to do with our technology is actually it will extend the life of the patent of the existing drug by 3 years minimum, if not 7 years, through our 505(b)(2) approvals. And this is actually a huge need right now in the diabetes space. So we are actually taking all the new drugs that have been just come out in the marketplace.
And the second question, how do you ensure compliance and avoid abuse?
So the compliance is basically we have done experiments with about 500 total patients in their normal settings at home, and they really prefer having a patch that can deliver them a full day's pill or 7 days or 3 days pill worth of medication rather than having to remind themselves. And the next generation of technology that we are actually including RFID and other easy to connect type of technologies that will allow them to send reminders to their phone, as well as it may be very good for patients who have dementia, where they will be able to get alerts in terms of when to put the patch and when they have put more than one patch at the same time.
One of the things that would be helpful, I think, just for context for us is, are there other examples of where patches are in market today and you do see those sort of different value propositions, or are you resting just upon your data and your experiences in that trial?
Patch technology is a very old technology. Patches have been in the marketplace since 1980s. The unfortunate thing is they cannot utilize more than small molecules. So we've been able to actually bring in large molecules like even biologics. We can even do vaccines through our patch. So that's the differentiation, yeah.
In the patch itself, or is it in the reformulation of the drug? And secondly, is the patch considered a medical device for the purposes of regulatory approvals?
Sure. So we have a patent on the patch itself, so we can actually add any drug to the patch. The way the patch is actually formulated and the matrix that we have in the patch is where we have the IP, along with some of the aversive agents that we have in the patch that avoids people to abuse the patch. As far as the second question goes, we are able to develop whichever drug formulation you want. So, for example, right now we're working with hepatitis C company, a startup company here in Boston. They are looking at making a drug cheaper and faster, and it's actually not recognized as a medical device by FDA. It doesn't need a 510(k) approval, for example.
Can you talk about just where the original technology was developed and any complications with sort of the IP from that standpoint?
Sure. The original technology was developed in India, where I was based in my undergraduate school. And we actually worked with the person who has developed nicotine patch as one of my mentor, and he's been helping me since that point.
About your competition.
I'm sorry?
A bit more about competition.
Yeah, like I said, competition, mostly they are all very generic patch that are used by, Purdue Pharmaceuticals is the largest patch maker, so is Mallinckrodt and other companies. The distinction that we have is really in the way we actually construct the patch. It is not constructed in multiple layers. It is a one extruded patch that allows us to put the API in the drug substance.
Awesome job, Vipula. So let's thank her. Awesome presentation, right?